My name is Gavin Evans, and this is my review of the Nutcracker and the Four Realms. And this review will have spoilers, so there's your warning. But I know people hate this movie. Like, it received terrible reviews. So back in November 2018, I went into it with very low expectations. But I was surprised at how enjoyable this movie actually was, and I just rewatched it and my thoughts haven't changed. Like, it's not great, it's not a masterpiece, but it's definitely not bad either. So let's begin by talking about the cast, and Mackenzie Foy does a pretty good job. She can feel a little one note, but I still thought she brought enough personality to this character, and she carries the movie well enough. Jaden Fowora-Knight, I thought, did a pretty good job as well. I like how sincere he was, and I really liked his friendship with Clara. And then we get to Keira Knightley's performance. And many people criticized her work here. But I could not disagree more. Keira Knightley is the absolute best part about this movie. It is such a unique and interesting performance, and it's not what I expected from Keira Knightley at all. And I thought she really stood out. She's memorable, and I like how evil and sinister she can be, and also how there's like this seductive nature to her. I really thought she was fantastic. Helen Mirren, I thought, did a really good job. She plays a different kind of character, but she does it incredibly well. Morgan Freeman is barely in this movie, but he's still a nice presence to have here. And Matthew McFadden, aka Tom in Succession, does a pretty good job. I wish he was in the movie more, and I like how his character isn't the mean dad, and he's actually a very loving and caring father, and I thought the ending of this movie was quite sweet. So the cast does do a really good job, and I think the movie is, for the most part, well directed by Lacey Hallstrom and Joel Johnson. The makeup and the costumes, the production design, and the CGI look great for the most part. It is a movie that is just very vibrant and very colorful, and I love some of the aesthetics on display. Like the realm of amusement with the giant robot just looks so cool, and those clowns are pure nightmare fuel, and I like that element of the movie. I also like the adventure genre approach to this story. Like, it kind of feels like Alice in Wonderland and Narnia, but in a good way. Um, I like how this movie plays around with time. There is one scene in a clock that I found to be very cool, and I love the last act turn. Well, it turns out that Keira Knightley is the villain, and how she starts turning some of the humans into toys. Like, psychologically, that stuff I find to be very effective, and in fact, I wish we got more of it. I also like how she starts building her own army. So it does go in a very interesting direction. But that said, I wish this movie had more action, because the villain has an army, so you think there would be an army to go up against them, but it's only like 5 characters, and like the big menacing soldiers end up being rather easy to defeat. So it kind of kills some of the tension there, and I do wish that more of the humans turned into toys. Like there's a scene where they lock up a bunch of people in a dungeon, and I think it would have added more stakes if they were turned into toys. And maybe if Philip, like the second main character of this movie, was turned into a toy as well, it would have added even more tension and more excitement. And I feel like they kinda backed out of that a little too much. And I also think that the dungeon that goes outside and also has a warp made it a little too easy for the characters to escape. Another issue I have with this movie is the second act, because we get introduced to this world, we get told what the characters need to do, and then we spend 10 minutes on the adventure of Clara leading a bunch of people to the realm of amusement, and then she succeeds, and then we kind of go into the last act. So the big adventure part is only like 10 minutes, and I wish this movie had a few more obstacles, a few more environments, a bit more to pad the movie's runtime. And even though I do think this movie looks good for the most part, there's a few scenes where the characters do not feel a part of the environment. Especially one scene at the end where Clara has to sneak into the chambers, and she uses this water wheel, but she doesn't get wet. So like, it feels like there's a disconnect there. So the movie's not great. I do wish it committed more to the darker aspects of the last act. I do wish the second act was longer, but there's still plenty of enjoyment to get from this movie. I do think the cast does a good job. I like the vision on display. I think Keira Knightley just really stands out here. I like some of the darker elements of this movie, and it's entertaining. So I'm giving the Nutcracker and the Four Realms a 6.5 out of 10. Honestly, one of the better live-action Disney movies in the past decade or so. But the Nutcracker and the Four Realms. Have you seen it? What did you think? Let me know in the comments down below. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Stay tuned for more videos soon. And Gavin,